What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk a little bit about Daenerys Targaryen and all of her travels through the series Game of Thrones. But this is not going to be based on George R.R. Martin's book, A Song of Ice and Fire, but strictly to the television series on HBO. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we're going to get this thing started. Season 1, and the first place we're visiting is Pentos. Now Daenerys begins her journey here, where she and her brother Viserys are guests of the wealthy merchant Illyrio Maparis. Viserys arranges Daenerys' marriage to Khal Drogo, who is the leader of the clan called the Dothraki. After marrying Khal Drogo, Daenerys travels with the Dothraki to their sacred city called Vastdathrek. This is where she starts to gain some confidence and strength as being a Khaleesi. This is a real turning point for her character in Season 1 as she begins to really show the ability to lead. Toward the end of Season 1, Khal Drogo falls ill due to an infected wound. Ultimately, he is left in a catatonic state after Daenerys tries to save him using blood magic. Daenerys proceeds to place her dragon eggs on the funeral pyre and then walks into the flames herself. The next morning, she emerges unharmed with 3 newly hatched dragons. As Season 2 begins, Daenerys is now leading her small group of followers through the Red Waste, which is basically a vast desert in Essos. After wandering the Red Waste, Daenerys and her followers, weakened and desperate, arrive at the gates of Qarth. Qarth is ruled by a council called the 13. Initially, they refused to let them enter. However, Zero Han Daxus, a wealthy merchant and one of the 13, vouches for Daenerys and persuades them to let her in. In a political move, Zaro proposes marriage to Daenerys, claiming it would help her gain the wealth and ships she needs to retake the Iron Throne. Daenerys is skeptical of his intentions. Later on, her dragons are then kidnapped by Pyat Pri, a warlock of Qarth, who conspires with Zaro. The dragons are then taken to the House of the Undying. In the final episode of Season 2, Dany enters the House of the Undying to rescue her dragons. She ends up defeating Pyat Pri and locks Zaro in his empty vault because he never actually owned anything. The rest of her group takes what they can and they leave the city of Qarth. These events in Qarth mark a pivotal point in Dany's development as a leader and her journey towards the Iron Throne. In Season 3, Daenerys tries to stop all slavery in the cities of Slaver's Bay. Her first stop is in Astrafar. In one of my personal favorite episodes, she unleashes Drogon on the slave master. This is where she acquires the Unsullied army by tricking all of the slavers, and then the Unsullied decide to choose to follow her as free men, not slaves.
Dracarys.
Daenerys marches on Yunkai, which is another slaver city in Slaver's Bay. With the help of the Unsullied and the Second Sons, a mercenary company, she liberates the city. In Season 4, Daenerys arrives in Meereen. This is the largest city in Slaver's Bay. After a successful siege, she takes control of the city and decides to stay and rule, aiming to learn how to govern before returning to Westeros. Once again, this is another large step in her leadership role that she's going to have to learn how to do and control emotionally if she is to take over the Iron Throne. In Season 5, Daenerys faces various challenges while ruling Meereen, including uprisings and political intrigue. She also reopens fighting pits and becomes engaged to Hizar Zor Lorak to secure peace. In Season 6, Daenerys flees Meereen on the back of her dragon, Drogon. Daenerys lands in the Dothraki Sea. She is quickly discovered and captured by a Khazar named Khal Moro. She is taken back to Vas Dorthrak, the sacred city of Dothraki. This is where she was in Season 1, and this is where now the widows of the fallen Khals reside. Because she was married to Khal Drogo, this is where she now belongs. Later in the season, Daenerys confronts the Khals in the temple of the Dashkaline. She declares her intention to lead the Dothraki and then sets fire to the temple, killing all of the Khals inside. After emerging unburnt from the flames, she then leads the rest of the Dothraki to pledge their allegiance to her. These events significantly bolster Daenerys' power, adding the Dothraki to her army as she continues her quest to reclaim the Iron Throne. Daenerys returns to Meereen to find the city under attack by the Maesters. With the help of the Greyjoy's fleet, the Dothraki and her dragons, they defeat the Maesters, and now the journey to Westeros begins. In Season 7, Daenerys lands at Dragonstone, the ancestral seat of House Targaryen. She plans her strategy from conquering Westeros from here. Daenerys engages in various battles, including the Battle of the Gold Road, where she and her dragon Drogon attack the Lannister army. She also forms an alliance with Jon Snow. Later in the season, we see her fly Drogon over the wall to come rescue a group that was going up against the White Walkers. In this battle, she loses Viserion as the Night King turns Viserion to an ice dragon by plunging his frozen spear into its chest. In Season 8, Daenerys is now in Winterfell. This is where she travels with Jon Snow and her armies to prepare for the fight against the Night King and the army of the dead. Finally, we reach the end. Daenerys leads her forces to King's Landing to confront Cersei Lannister. She eventually destroys much of the city with her dragon Drogon, leading to the final confrontation. Daenerys finally takes the Iron Throne in the ruins of the Red Keep, but is soon killed by Jon Snow because of the way that her character had turned into the Mad Queen. These travels marked Daenerys' significant journey across the continent of Essos and eventually Westeros, highlighting her rise from exile to a powerful and feared leader. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments, did I miss any part of her journey in the TV series? Don't forget to hit that like on the way out of here. Keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.